XRP is still navigating a choppy tape, but there is a ray of hope on the chart. According to Bitcoin.com news, long-term moving averages are beginning to act like a stabilizer in what has been a bearish environment for weeks. That does not mean a breakout is guaranteed. It does mean the market is finally testing levels where trends often turn. Let's define the playing field. Long-term moving averages like the 100-day and 200-day track the market's memory. When price is below them and they are sloping down, sellers have control. When price starts to base along them and those lines flatten, it often signals that downside momentum is fading. That is exactly the dynamic highlighted by Bitcoin.com news. XRP keeps gravitating back to those averages, testing them from below, and trying to build a floor. Think in zones rather than single lines. On many charts, the 100-day and 200-day sit fairly close, creating a support and resistance band. If buyers can reclaim that band on a daily close and then hold it on a retest, market structure improves. You typically see three tells when that shift is real. First, volume expands on the reclaim. Second, pullbacks into the band are bought quickly. Third, higher lows begin to print above the band instead of below it. That is how a bearish terrain evolves into a base. Zoom out to the weekly for context. The 50-week and 200-week moving averages filter out noise even better than dailies. When price rides along the 50-week from above, it is trend health. When it tests the 50-week from below and begins to close back over it, it is trend repair. Bitcoin.com news points to that bigger picture as the reason bulls have not thrown in the towel. Multi-week closes around those long-term averages can mark the start of a fresh leg if macro conditions cooperate. Now the roadmap if bulls take control. First objective, reclaim and convert the long-term average cluster into support. Second, chew through the nearest supply shelf where recent rallies failed. Third, target the prior swing high that capped the last impulsive move. None of that happens in a straight line. Healthy advances alternate push days with quiet digestion, and they keep on showing strong dip buys into those moving averages. The bear side is simple and important. If XRP loses the long-term average cluster on increasing sell volume and fails the immediate retest, the market likely rotates back to the prior demand base. In practice, you will see wicks through support that do not get rescued by the close, a flattening bid in the order book, and momentum probes that fizzle below obvious resistance. That behavior says the base needs more time. Here is a practical checklist you can narrate to your audience while you show the chart. 1. Watch the slope of the 200-day. Flat to slightly up is your first green shoot. 2. Look for a daily closeback above the long-term average band and a clean retest that holds. 3. Confirm with participation. Spot volume should rise on up days and cool on down days. Open interest should rebuild without funding skewing to positive too fast. 4. Add a simple risk line. If price closes back under the band and cannot reclaim it within a session or two, respect your invalidation and step aside. Fundamentals that can reinforce the technical repair include steady ETF inflows when available, improving liquidity in major pairs, and evidence that on-chain activity is climbing on the XRP ledger. Those are second-order supports. The first order is always the tape. If the tape respects the averages, the story has a chance to evolve. If it rejects them, the story is not ready. Bottom line. According to Bitcoin.com news, XRP is in bearish terrain, but the long-term moving averages are finally doing their job as a stabilizer. Reclaim the band, hold it on a retest, and the path opens to challenge the last swing highs. Lose the band with momentum, and the base likely extends in time. Let the moving averages and the reaction around them be your guide. You have been watching Cryptozard News. Please subscribe and like, and leave a comment if you enjoyed this video, and let me know what other crypto-related news you'd like to hear in the future.